Alrighty. Hello, hello.
Hello.
There you
March
go.
Communications Committee meeting. We'll go ahead and call it to order. Those that are present, let's just identify ourselves. Oh, somebody else joining. Connecting. Alrighty, so those that are here, let's go ahead and identify ourselves, starting with myself, Lindsay Kuhn.
Keith Campbell.
Molly Snodgrass.
Karen McKisson.
Darlene McGold.
Thank you. And I believe we have a committee member at least on Zoom.
Yep, Steve Eisenbrand.
Yes. And hello to whomever just joined us.
Bob Singer.
Hi there.
Hi.
So the first thing that we're going to jump into today is something that we've been talking about for a couple of meetings, and that is a audit of the Harlan Township website. So we want to have this discussion because the Harlan Township website provider called Revise allows like one revision in the current contract, and it's been a while since anybody has looked at and thought about changing around the website. So what we're planning on doing is we'll take notes about this audit today, and then we'll provide them to Ashley, who'll set up a meeting with Revise and see, what they can and cannot refresh under the terms of the current contract. So I'm going to share the screen so that we can all see the Harlan Township website, and then the goal is that then people can see as I'm moving around on the Zoom as well. And then I'll just stop sharing once we're done with this. There we are. Thanks, Molly. Oh yeah, for the other side of the room. That's a good idea. So we figured we would just start at the top with navigation, and I know we're just jumping into this, but we've been talking about this in our meetings for a while. So I figured why not just jump in. So starting at the top with navigation, did anybody bring any notes regarding updates and changes to navigation?
I mean, I don't think the overall headers seem okay.
Yeah, they
Um,
do.
I just wonder, as we get into it, we might want to clean up what like the subheaders have in them. But home, government, departments, and community seem reasonable to me.
Yes, I even think that especially under government, the subheaders are pretty matter of fact. Nothing seems to be mislabeled. I suppose it is kind of odd. There's government and then there's departments. They're all under this township administration, though. That's correct. So even departments like zoning, fire, it's all under, like, it's the same thing as the fiscal officer. It's the same thing as the administrative office. They are departments within this.
And there is some redundancy because it's like I think zoning appears under both, and it might be a little confusing.
Right. Yeah, there's zoning commission, board of zoning appeals. Then there's departments, which also has the board of zoning appeals, zoning commission. So maybe that's a note to write down, just like better understanding, is government and departments necessary? Why isn't some of the department stuff under government, vice versa? I think that's a good note to write down.
So I agree, because it's also, you don't have to have all of that in there. Meaning like you have government, then you have your departments, so you have the administrative, all the different departments, but do you have to have you could just have zoning department instead of all of that other stuff underneath it, or like is that all
Or just
necessary?
under government, just put departments, and then you can list it. That way it's all one tab. You can see it all, because you don't have to repeat the zoning as part of the board. You have it also in the department. That would be part of it.
Yeah, it would make this bigger for sure, but
Yeah.
it does seem like these two tabs could be combined in some way if we could think of, after some thought, like a more streamlined way to combine these two.
Some of the things, I've looked at both of them, and there's some redundancy, but there are some differences too.
Right. So
And not like in departments, we have like minutes and stuff. Also, there's a SPC archive, which is something needs to be saved somewhere, so people can go back to that if necessary. But some of the stuff in the government is kind of different, because I don't think like human resources and employment opportunities like that, that's not really a department. I mean, it's like a part of just part of the administrative office.
Well-
I would almost argue that human resources isn't really government, it's a department. or
Right.
admin-
Right.
So one thing, Darlene, that I was gonna point out, all the white texts are actually like sub pages of the orange text.
Right.
So like I know a lot of websites don't have the pages show up unless you like hover over like the
Like over the orange, the.
yeah,
or-
so like
Yeah, like a drop down.
it almost seems very cluttered when you
That
have
was my
this
point.
much that
Yeah.
shows up
Right.
all at once,
Hmm.
as opposed to like I does anyone know the Wi-Fi password here?
Harlem,
Sorry.
capital H, Harlem, capital G, yes.
It's easy.
And all just call it government.
Right,
slash
so
department.
government, and then you have the orange things or whatever, I mean.
Hmm.
And then everything breaking down like a
Because
subtitle, yeah.
The comprehensive master plan, I don't know if it's under government, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's under, should be under like,
Economic development.
right,
Yeah.
kind of where. And it should be available for the search if somebody's looking for it, but if you're trying to organize things, there's too many words on these
Well, may-
things. I was thinking, and it doesn't really identify what it actually is, you know what I mean? So government.
do we really need the word government and just put departments, and under that you can say the government is, or leave it as the trustees and everything else?
Yeah, there's definitely some combining. And who knows, there might be a good reason why, trustees and fiscal office and boards and commissions and committees, these are all things that are elected or named by the trustees, appointed by the trustees. So there might be a reason why it's pulled out, but I definitely think this is a good first note that there's some redundancies here and it's not clear who should be in what.
Well, that would be like administrative or elected officials, like that's almost a subheading, in itself, what you normally see. Because I agree with you, bless you, because that is normally separate. It's like, what are your departmental offices versus your
Correct.
administrative elected officials?
Yeah,
But it's all under government.
yeah. So yeah, that's a
Either way.
little confusing.
Okay,
Community, however, though, that makes a lot of sense.
Yes, I do agree that because you have your, the clubs and organizations, the
Mhm.
facility, like I think everything in the community section
the sheriff's office?
makes more sense.
That is,
I mean,
that's
it's-
not part of the Harlem, the sheriff department, is it?
Looks
Well,
like it might
it's-
just be,
It's the Delaware County Sheriff.
Yeah.
So I think it does make sense under community because it's not like a Harlem Township
Right.
department.
Okay, that's, I mean, that's not, I agree with that part.
And then Parks and Rec, that's not a department.
the Parks and Recreation.
Is a
is.
department, they're governed by the trustee part of it.
Yes,
So wouldn't that go back under the departments then?
I believe I saw, yeah, Parks Committee is also under boards and committees. and
Government,
commission.
right, but I'm thinking it should be,
So that's another example of the redundancy. Like I think it might make sense to have
Yeah,
if the Parks Department is actually like a department and a committee that needs to be under government departments.
I think it does.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
I
this
think that's
actually,
right.
yeah, yep, and this actually is just a page describing that we have a park, but then there's also a page for the park.
Right.
So that's
Oh,
a
so-
note to make as well.
Yep. Okay. That is confusing.
You're right. So there's
maybe
two
we just have
different,
to rename it somehow.
yeah, there's two different.
So yeah, the
Parks.
Parks and Recreation that's under community leads to kind of a landing page that says we have a park, but then the park has its own page itself. Some, again, maybe something to reduce a click.
Yeah.
You just want one
Yeah,
of these,
Agree.
Yeah.
one of the two.
So the thing here though, too, just like with the sheriff's office and, I agree, part of the community piece, but instead of that, do we have another tab that says like other links to things like the school district, sheriff's office, like
Mm.
maybe a Delaware County, like, like a lot of websites have like, I don't know a title, but other
Yeah,
like.
like
I think they might call it
Other-
resource.
other
resource.
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like-
that's what Steve said. Yeah, like resources.
So.
Other resources.
Mhm.
So like Delaware County, for instance, like we'll have other resources of things that they're not responsible for.
Yeah.
Just to try and.
Yeah, and they have health department and, yeah.
Not
Yeah.
that, you know, like school districts and things like that, that they're not responsible for.
Yeah,
And maybe some of those get lumped into theirs, since it's not specific to Harlem.
It's different.
right.
Yeah, community.
Yeah, that way people don't think that like
They go different.
this
have
is
a
not a
sheriff's
Harlem Sheriff's Office. We don't have a sheriff. Yeah.
Right, but I think it's definitely valuable to have outside sources, and then we can even put Delaware County stuff on there too.
Yeah. Yeah, like Steve said, the health department, that could be a nice link.
Yeah, or, just something.
Even like,
You're right, because we don't really link it to Delaware County anywhere here, other than the sheriff.
Other than the sheriff, so, just other,
Even if we just link to Delaware County's main page, like that's,
yeah, something like that.
so that's all good feedback. So then how do I,
Can we go back to departments for a second?
yep, right there.
Okay, so the zoning department, I think that's a bit of a combination of a bunch of stuff. I wonder, and I don't know, I mean, is zoning department referring to, Mike, or I might just suggest calling that, zoning as a topic area in
Yeah.
orange.
Yeah.
And then I would add another one, which would be strategy and development.
Yeah, like down here it says economic development. It almost seems like that should be its own
Yeah.
orange header.
Yeah, I would have actually, I think it should be,
Also with
and I think there's
SPC.
going to be more and more stuff going on in that area.
Yeah.
But that's why I thought about having strategy and development as kind of a common, and then you could put economic development under that. You could
Mhm.
put SPC archive under that.
Is that an official department though? Like if economic development is official, then you can put the other things underneath that, whatever the official.
Well, it
entity-
was, and then, right now the role is open with
Right,
Jim resigning,
but I
but
think it's gonna remain, or you can put things, I think people would understand economic development before strategy and development.
And what do we have to say department on each one of them, or it's already under the department?
You,
Well,
you probably don't have to. You could probably just call it fire, parks, zoning.
Mm-hmm.
And
Another
economics, that way it's just called. Well, it's not actually departments, it's, what is it called, research? Resources? This is.
No, I think the confusion here is that there is really no zoning department. There's.
Yeah,
there's a
right, but I'm saying
board
there is
and
not
a-
really a
right.
park department or a fire department, well, there are, but.
There is a fire department, there is a
Department
maintenance
also,
department.
already say departments.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is another thing. Like you said, there is a fire department, there is a maintenance department, but there isn't technically a parks department.
Yeah.
There isn't technically a zoning department. There is a director of
But I'm
zoning.
just, what I'm saying, but that,
So I guess just getting clear on that. And I do really like the idea because economic development as the township grows is probably, like Steve was saying, going to have so much more added to it over
Yeah.
time with
Right.
all this stuff that the trustees are now
Yes.
putting out
Correct.
with the
sooner
strategy.
than later, I think.
So
Steve,
probably needs to be its own
You know,
section.
if they're still talking about hiring a professional planner,
They're talking about a number of things.
I mean, that's something, that may be a different department than others,
Well, I think that just what we have now,
economic
You could always add.
development, yeah.
you can always add planning.
As another orange header planning, yeah.
I don't know that we'd get too granular, like, I don't
Sure.
think we and a planning and an economic.
It depends on how it.
Well,
evolves.
if you're trying to
I don't think we
eliminate
No,
or get things, I would put the SPC archive under government, under a comprehensive master plan.
Sure, that makes sense. Because
Because
it was
most of
part
what's in
that.
that is linked to the comprehensive master plan. And that's where the quick strategy guide resides.
Right. And yes, there's a quick strategy guide as well, which that isn't linked in here. So definitely some things
Says
that we're
comprehensive
missing
master
/
plan.
should be moved
Well,
around.
it's the quick strategy guide is in with the SPC and with the master plan. If you go to that comprehensive plan, it's shown on that top level page.
Seems almost as an economic development landing page, you'd have comprehensive master plan, strategy guide. It's a quick way to get to these things.
That'd be another way to do it. Yep.
I think all of that fits under economic development right now.
Just on that one page, yeah. So then I'll just keep going unless somebody wants to reference something that we've already talked about. So now we move on to how do I, which I really like that. How do I, 'cause that's like that's something that somebody's gonna have in mind when they come here. So I don't really have any problem with that, and I think that should probably stay. So how do I forms and applications or apply for?
Are those the
That
same
seems
things?
like the same.
Okay.
Apply for a job.
Apply for zoning permits, BZA, cemetery, citizen request, public records, zoning forms and applications, contact us. Which, is that the same thing as forms? It is the same
Yeah,
thing
that's
as forms.
what I
And-
Got another redundancy.
Yeah,
So that could be something to clean up as well.
yes.
I think forms and applications is perfect.
How do I, yep, forms, perfect.
The
Or
apply
citizen
for seems
feedback.
More like
A job.
although, hold up,
You
go to
could
the apply for page. There's like a link to make a payment.
So that's,
And there's
yeah,
But you could put it
applications
on one
for.
Yeah, I think that all needs to be applied, like the same.
underneath.
which
But the-
conversely on forms and applications, none of the stuff is here. So
Right.
Yeah.
So just
Right.
move all the apply for stuff under forms and applications,
Right,
right? Yeah,
correct.
that would make sense to me.
Mhm. Yep.
And then contact us is great. Citizen feedback, that makes sense. Subscribe, that makes sense. I might even want maybe like subscribe to township news or something, just so people understand what they're subscribing for.
So, yeah.
You're like, what are you subscribing to?
Yeah. Is there anything missing from how do I? That
Maybe
Most-
a dot.
well, I guess I meant like content, like
Oh.
most people are coming to this website. How do I? They're probably just looking for form.
You
Think
know,
of your
gi-
things.
given we're trying to drive more and more stuff electronically and particularly getting, the newsletter read in that manner, is that worthy of even making it the sixth of the top line items with, home government, the last one, just
Sure.
subscribe to newsletter?
Yeah, like
So it's
So-
right there in front of everybody to
sure.
consistently, repeat and remind them to do that.
That's a great idea. That's pretty typical of a lot of websites. Kind of like a little action in the right corner. Websites are, buy, but ours would be like subscribe. Let's find more as well. How do I? That's what this is. Oh, this is that
Help me,
resources
yeah.
thing we're talking about.
So maybe we don't need that.
Oh.
template. Like,
This page is great.
What it is.
I just didn't understand what it was by
Maybe
the
you
link.
change it to Delaware County and or something, not.
Right.
that should be on the security header though.
Yeah, like Delaware County resources under community. This page already exists. It's great.
Yep.
Who might use this, especially. Search for it, I had no interest in it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Okay, so that's the top navigation. I'm just gonna jump to the, like, I want to talk about the buttons. These are, they should be the most obvious, quick links to things. I do think some people do find it. There is one down here. I really don't think it could be in both places for sure. I mean, because that's like, when you first log in, you don't see that. When you first land on the page.
Can I bring up from navigation on the home page? Do any of you, maybe it's just something I'm doing wrong, but that picture on the home page, when you open up with a touch screen, with my touch screens, I can't navigate dragging on the picture.
Mm.
I
you're-
have
so
to
you-
go,
yeah.
I have to go to the white border.
Oh, wait,
You
this-
can't
my
hit the
screen's on
arrows,
screen.
the arrows? on
So-
it?
Well, I can
he's
get
saying-
the arrows, but if I grab the middle of that picture that I'm looking at and just try to push it up,
Yeah, so he's saying to scroll, like when you land on a page, this picture kind of takes up your entire screen.
Okay.
it does.
His tablet, he's not really able to continue on. He's stuck.
I would make that
Smaller.
picture narrower and less tall. So, or somehow, I'm not sure what's required to make
Yeah.
that picture a scrollable item,
Yeah. That's a
but
good
it
note,
drives me crazy.
because that just means that the website is not responsive to like somebody's
responsive.
tablet, or it could even be a problem on certain size phones if that picture is really big.
See if they say it's mobile responsive and
Mhm.
then just like to the standard tablet
Yeah.
versus et cetera.
But I have the same problem with my iPad, my phone, and with my iPhone and with a PC.
Yeah. So that's good feedback. If it's not like, if the screen size isn't adapting, then it makes it hard to use. Okay, so these buttons, I feel like applications and forms, public notices are two that are probably very, very important. They should be number one, number two. I like that there's a subscribe button. And are we like trustees,
Click on the public notices.
public notices? There we go.
Okay,
This can be improved.
okay, very good. Yes. So this is where I was having issues where the tree of all this. So home government trustees, public notices.
Mm-hmm. So this really is just kind of like I call it an accordion. It's not the most intuitive way to display public notices.
Look at when you scroll up to like where that lives is if you go home government trustees, public notices, like why is that under? like,
Well, I think that the public notices are typically kind of like on behalf of the trustees. Like the trustees are the ones giving the public notice, and
Okay,
that's the way that
That's probably correct.
yeah.
Like
Maybe
a
it's
fiscal
just,
officer might also be able to give official notice, but
No, well, they're township notices, right?
Mhm.
Like of a hearing either within zoning or within BZA.
Mm-hmm.
or announcement of a meeting.
so I
Yeah.
feel like, do you feel like that should be pulled out from under trustees and separate? Or, well, I guess not.
That's probably it's good that the button's there for sure then.
The button's great. And then I think, yeah, this is. Do you think accordion is the best way or how?
I think it might be nice to arrange them by like date posted or
Yes.
something. Like
Yes.
most recent at the top.
You know what I wish this was like? Have you guys ever just like been on a typical blog website, whether it's a recipe blog or
Yes,
whatever?
yeah.
I just wish it was a running list of like
Yes.
articles
Yes.
in order of newest to oldest instead of
would-
this
Yes.
accordion.
That would be, and then maybe you have like some sort of archive, like,
Yeah.
you know, because
Yeah, for stuff more than-
COVID-19,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, I know that's still on there, and it's like, is that even relevant anymore?
so there should be some sort of like archival process. I agree. That would be so much nicer.
It was just like
Yeah.
for lack of a better word, like a blog,
Blog.
where it's an
And then
article
you could click
posted.
on things.
Yeah.
and, yeah, it would look so, it would just be much more intuitive.
These related pages, I think makes a lot of sense to me. If
But
you're
the
on the
public notices, how is
or-
that a related? Where does that go?
related pages would be to who are the trustees and then what are their minutes.
Oh, I was just wondering if you're on public notices.
what's it
that-
have to do with those?
Yeah.
Oh,
Members.
that's a good point.
Oh, yeah.
You're on public
That's
notices
pretty
and there's a
long.
link to
They're
public
totally
notices.
related.
They're related,
yeah.
but why is it on public notice? Doesn't need to be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you're
just
on
wonder what
public
that
notices and
means.
there's a link to public notices. Probably doesn't need to be there.
right. Okay, that's what I was wondering, too, the navigation.
Honestly, this job openings, I think it's kind of lost. I'd
Yeah,
be
it should.
curious,
Yep.
like if we switched out this public notice link with job openings.
Yep, yes.
Because if I'm clicking on public notices, I think
You're not
that's
looking at jobs.
intuitive to be like, oh, job openings, that's a notice.
Should you have a careers somewhere?
It
Is there
doesn't look like we have a career. Oh, employment opportunities.
There you go.
That would be a great
That-
link for there.
There's that for that related pages.
Yeah,
then-
employment opportunities for this where I'm highlighted green.
So does the public, do the current job openings, I mean, not that there's a ton, but do they show up under both employment opportunities and on the public notice?
Great question. Let's see.
Yeah, let's
Well,
see.
I think,
Yes.
I think part of the
It
public
goes back
notices
to
is,
it.
Yes, it does.
It just takes you to the public notices.
the
I think I get it.
public
but-
notices really is something like required.
Yes, you're right.
Had to have, public notice. And what bothers me is I sometimes I go there, like, I want to know what the township trustees are doing, like, next meeting.
Hmm.
And you look on the public notice, it just says there's a meeting on that date and time. So it should be able to either help you
Updated.
link to the actual next meeting date.
Yes, yes. I understand what you're meaning.
Because I've done that before. I've come down and I said, I know there's a trustee like that had the special meeting, and it said special meeting and it just give me a date and a time. But if you go to the regular trustees meeting, it just says they're on the third Wednesday of the month, and that's all it tells you.
That's a really great point.
It
So,
says click here to Zoom. So yeah, I have to go here to Zoom,
mhm.
but if I knew I was going on March 17th or whatever day, whatever, if I could go to there and find the Zoom link, that would be better.
Yeah.
Then it's you have to go back here to find the Zoom link.
Yeah, 100%. So like this is a perfect example. It would be nice if like this is a public notice about a zoning commission hearing. If eventually there was like a closed loop where there was a link to when the
next
meeting, the next meeting coming up, and then eventually the minutes to that meeting, because otherwise everything's in a different spot and then you gotta go hunting. Okay, well, what happened with this?
Well, I
public-
mean, I think what Keith said is correct. The
Yeah.
public notice is the statutory requirement posting of an upcoming meeting.
That's right.
Right, and so maybe we should keep it simply that. So that, if people are looking for what's coming, and there might, and then if you want the Zoom link, if you want the agenda after the meeting, if you want the minutes, some way to group that stuff along the various topic lines.
Yeah, that having like a closed loop would be so helpful.
See,
Even on the
so,
side.
Look at Delaware County information that's there, then you have to go to the other place to check it.
Right.
It's not really
So I think
public
that's what she's
notice.
saying.
you
So,
know.
right. So making sure that those are, go ahead, Molly.
I know we're not a city, but like if you go to sunburyohio.org and go to their meet agendas and minutes page, it has like an agenda center where you can do you want to pull it up?
Yeah. Although I'm not sure.
Sunburyohio.org.
Am I sharing this?
Yes.
Steve, okay, cool.
So under government, go to agendas and minutes.
Yeah, it's right on the front page
Just
too.
click agendas and minutes. And they have like a document center over
Mhm.
and it's organized most recent at the top, like most upcoming
should be.
and oldest at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like your minutes are there, your link to your video is there,
Mhm.
the agenda is there.
Right.
So I mean, this might be a little overkill, and I don't know that this would be within Revise's
Yeah.
contract.
Where is that now?
So we do have under trustee minutes, they do have agenda, video, and then if there was other things. So it's similar. It's not quite as robust as that.
But it's not the,
It is similar.
But it's also like, it might be nice to, instead of having individual pages for trustee minutes and zoning minutes and like
It's just
have
it's
have
just
it
dates.
all in
of it
place,
together.
like,
Yeah.
like agendas and minutes, right?
Yeah.
For
And that-
all committees and all meetings,
Right,
and then
yeah.
it might be
tabs under.
tabs or
Yeah,
something,
so
or
it's just like-
headers.
Or even just like a chronological order. Just
Yeah.
Yes.
Dates really what matters here. Yeah.
Yeah, but just have one tab that has all the minutes and
Mhm.
meetings and you can go to, say underneath that,
Yeah.
what committees or what the zoning and the trustees or.
Because I
Mhm.
think it'd be a little more convenient to have, rather than to have to go to separate pages for all the different
Correct.
committee.
Which you do
Let's see
currently,
everything at
yeah.
one
Like the
place.
BZA page has its own BZA minutes page and the zoning has its own zoning minutes page. And
And they're all organized a little bit differently too,
Mhm.
if you click through to each of them, like the trustees minutes page has agenda, video and minutes. But if you go to the BZA minutes, wherever that went.
I believe it's under departments or government, Board of Zoning Appeals, and then BZA minutes
You
to
have
the left.
click a lot to get there.
Yeah, and I'm just saying. you just
But
have-
when you do get there, I mean, I guess it looks pretty similar. Which was the one that looked different? One of them was different.
Well, I'm just thinking on the top, you could just put it under one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they have on some, in Sunbury, there's a big button that says agendas and minutes
Right, and I like that. That would be easier to know. I
on the
could go-
front page.
Right,
yeah.
I don't have to go, right, what do I want to look at? You know,
So one of those homepage, easy buttons.
could be
Mhm.
just called minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we might be able to still have a subpage of like, for each group that has minutes.
Mhm.
But then, I don't know, just make it more organized, so they're not in all
Four
the
different
different places.
I do like the idea of it being called like an agendas and minutes center. Like they're just all there in
Yes,
chronological
all of
order.
them all together.
Because most people know that the date or the month at least. I'm looking for the trustee minutes from February. It just would be nice to be able to scan it. And like what Keith and Steve were saying, it would be nice if there was a way, even just like a simple, if you could also connect the public notice to the meeting that was being addressed in. Because that's something that like I personally have struggled with. I'm like, oh, there's that public notice, but now I have to go see which of these meetings they address this in
Right,
and
right.
read the minutes of the meeting. It'd just be nice if there was some sort of closed loop linking, like after the meeting has happened.
Or just even the link to the Zoom to get on the meeting.
Yeah, even just the link. Yeah.
Which sometimes is included in the notices and sometimes
Sometimes it's
not.
not, yeah.
If you look at the BZA minutes and agendas and all that,
Mhm.
you'll see in 1223 is the first time you see the word agenda.
Oh,
First time I did an agenda.
that's amazing. You always have that marker there.
But that agenda was always up in my head. Never had one written down. A lot of times we had nothing on the docket. I mean, nothing was, but we,
Another thing to think about is how far back in time do we want to have like archives of these on the website? Do we continuously?
Whatever the
I
rules
think
are.
if you
Yeah,
put,
whatever the rule is.
7 or 10 years.
Yeah, whatever the rule
well,
is.
I would think you could put this down to a couple of years and then have an archive page.
A whole archive.
Right.
Where all the-
Like,
where-
like,
where
yeah,
all the-
with the
they would all
blog,
Put all the
yeah.
old stuff over up to one under one tab. you
Right.
know. That way, it would take up less space and it'd be less scrolling. Because, I mean, I'm here 2020 on the BZA. And, but, it depends.
So we're in our next couple sections right now. We're kind of talking about it simultaneously, and that is content that is old and needs updated, and content that would be nice to have. So we've already talked about several of these things already. I didn't know this current zoning map button was here. Maybe we should consider that being a little bit more prominent. Did I miss it somewhere else? I didn't know this was here.
That's the first time I've seen it.
Where'd you
Where
find?
was that?
Where'd you find
That
it?
was on the BZA page and this little button down here.
There's things on the BZA page that I don't think the BZA has anything to
We
do
should
with.
be on the right
Yeah.
place.
So maybe that's something
Yeah,
that could be
zoning.
updated.
It's-
Zoning map in a more prominent place.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Zoning.
right under the zoning.
Right under zoning.
Yeah.
It probably should be under zoning. Is it
Under
up here?
zoning. Yeah, it should be an item under zoning called zoning map.
Yeah, there
I
should
think-
be.
I think that's probably a one that a lot of people would want to try to find quickly and
Yeah.
can't.
Well, it's the same thing that the zoning resolutions under the BZA.
Yeah.
And,
Are they on all the zoning pages though?
I think it
Yeah,
should be,
let's-
it should be under zoning commission also, because if you're looking at zoning commission and you want to find the resolution, then you have to
Zoning.
go to the BZA to find it. Or the
That's
zoning-
not the way, no, yeah.
The resolution can have its own tab almost.
Okay, the map nor the
Yes.
resolutions are on the zoning commission page. So
Right.
that needs to be moved to a more prominent spot.
Yes.
It needs to have its own
CP
tab or.
CPC.
Yeah.
Act-
It needs to be under here, yeah.
It's got 2 places.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because if
We don't need all that.
Yeah, that's something that definitely
and
should
for
be
that
moved.
matter, like permit applications under under zoning department, there's a link to permit applications, and that's got redundant information that our other forms and applications page has.
Yeah, that should probably just link to forms and applications.
Right.
It still has a make payment here button and a zoning permit application button.
The make payment here is recent, new. They just
Okay.
started just taking online payments this year. Or middle of last year sometime, I
But
guess.
does that go there?
But either way, it's
yeah.
it's still redundant because it shows up under permit applications and also that other place we were looking.
Anybody know what
How
that
do
beeping
I
is?
apply for?
Who's downloading?
Fire department.
Can you go back to the zoning commission page?
Mm-hmm. This is just an
So-
explanation page.
You're right, but shouldn't the zoning map be an item in that left-hand box and also the zoning resolution? Those
It
two
should.
items?
It should, I think, any zoning committee or department should have it. Beeping.
I would.
I don't know where they're upstairs or
First one
something.
for the fire department, I think.
Okay. Phew, goodness gracious.
Yes, yeah, someone.
Yes, I agree. Any zoning page that you're on related pages should say zoning map
Yes.
and zoning resolution.
Yes.
In fact, this is confusing to me because, so we're on the zoning commission page and then over on that related, I see, well, related pages. So,
Yes.
because then you got BZA there, you got,
Mhm. You don't need zoning commission because we're on the zoning commission page,
Sounds like a.
right.
Yeah,
SPC.
but we're definitely missing zoning map and zoning resolution. I'm actually really happy that we found that because I had no idea how to find this.
Well, I might even take Board of Zoning Appeals off because it's not related to the zoning commission.
Technically not, you're right. because
Oh,
it's more-
really?
It's more of the judiciary versus
a whole-
like.
Yeah, it's
zoning
it's
commission
not.
versus legislature.
Huh.
So if you want to correlate the township to the three types of government or branches of government, your trustees are like the executive, your zoning commission is like the legislative, and your BZA is like the judiciary.
Huh.
That's the closest.
Right. Yeah.
That's why I'm the Supreme Court.
I still see them as related though, if it's zoning, but
I mean, it's related, but I don't know. It's also separate, so it's weird.
let's see, if you go back to the zoning again, zoning department.
Zoning
itself,
department,
What is that?
just this.
Yeah, see then,
Oh wait, zoning document center. We don't need this. Oh wait, there's zoning resolution and zoning map.
so this.
But
is-
again, it's not very prominent.
No,
No,
I didn't know it was there.
And it can live in multiple places, but
Certainly.
we should make sure that it's at least easy to find.
Mm-hmm.
Why
should
do
be in
you
one
have
place.
this page? Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess,
This page almost doesn't need to exist.
yes,
Because also, again, there's no zoning department.
exactly. So just
Right.
zoning, a header, and then all those other things should be underneath of it, or do we even need?
Although, I mean, like, is the document center, is that like a useful?
Again, that's like.
It's redundant. It's all
redundant.
redundant, isn't it? Or
More
no?
like on your forms and applications.
Yeah.
It should be, that should be under,
Like this 2025 zoning fee schedule, that's obviously very important, but I'm assuming that should just be under forms and applications.
right.
Why is it a PDF and not a page?
I don't know.
I've seen that yet. Used to get one every year.
I wonder if
Okay.
there's anything in the zoning document center though that's not linked anywhere else.
That's what I think we need to look at pretty
So-
granularly.
Molly, would you mind making a note of that? Like on zoning department, make sure that no documents are only here.
I'm learning a lot tonight.
I'm learning a ton. This is great.
Doing the computers are backing up.
I think
So-
what we're finding is that there's a lot of like cleanup work that needs done. Not a lot of it is, I don't think we need a lot of like completely revamping.
Right.
But I think a
Sure.
lot of this
Need-
could hopefully fall under the definition of like a
A
revision
revision.
that
Needs to be,
hopefully
just
is
needs
done.
to be organized so it's more accessible for easier to find stuff, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess
A lot of
that's,
information on here. I never even knew it was on here.
Yeah,
so-
you're not changing layouts and
No.
so forth, so.
Yeah.
not at all.
Not
Artwork.
changing like the main frame, like not changing the structure, but
Mhm.
more just like improving its organization.
So I guess
Yes.
that leads me to the last thing, and we have mentioned one item. So the last point on our agenda was, are there any features that we wish this website had? One of them is more of a meeting and minutes center. I think that's a good feature. Another feature would be like linking the public notices to the minutes or the video if you could. But other than that, is this missing any sort of feature? And that would be our last thing that we can talk about for this website tonight. Because that's a lot of changes already. So
Yeah, you're right.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head that's like completely missing. We have a lot more on our township website than most other townships
I
I've
bet.
checked.
I
Or
bet.
at least most other townships of comparable size.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, a more populous township has a lot of
Yeah,
stuff,
I'm
but
sure Orange, you know, are a lot different, but
yeah.
Roll up again and see the picture and see how, see, that's like on all the pages, they're so big and wide, you can't see
Yeah.
anything. If it could be, like Steve said, smaller.
So that so that
Or
could
at
be
least
more
smaller
responsive.
page.
Yeah, the homepage is gigantic.
Yeah, but so is, I mean, but they'll all be the same all the way across.
Yeah, to be honest, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Make the homepage the same as the other.
As the other ones.
Yeah.
That's honestly a
Whatever,
pretty
yeah.
good
I'm
idea.
just saying I'm just
Yeah.
seeing the difference.
Yeah. That's a pretty good idea. There's really no need for it to.
Yeah, that picture on the homepage just dominates the page.
Mhm.
So,
And not in a-
You've got events. That's a good feature. So yeah, I guess besides meetings, like some sort of comprehensive meetings and minutes center, I can't think of any necessarily features.
Real quick though, this is not really missing information, but
Mhm.
go to the government and the trustees page.
This landing page right here.
Yeah, we need to make sure this keeps scrolling. Where is it? Where's the page where it has the photos of each of the?
That's where I'm so glad you.
Board
brought this
members?
up.
Yes.
Board members,
So
that
this
doesn't make
needs
sense.
to be, this needs improved.
Yeah.
When you click on each of those, like contact and learn more, look at the like hyperlink it actually takes you to.
Oh, that's nice.
It takes you to a /Jackson
Oh, interesting.
and like home David Jackson. And the other one, like the one that like has Adam's picture and name still says Carl Richardson.
Oh, we
So
gotta
go back,
clean
go
that
back
up.
and scroll up. If you click on Adam Holiday, it says,
Oh, somebody fixed it.
oh, is it?
Yeah, somebody fixed
No,
it.
it says Jerry Paul. Look in the link. It says
Oh, the link.
/Jerry
The
Paul.
link, you're right.
And then go to, so this one says Jerry Paul, and go to the next one. Maybe
John
John
Trainer.
Trainer. Maybe his is the one that says.
Oh,
it says
Richardson.
So the links, yeah, the
So
links
it's like
need
the
fixed.
pages for each of those trustees were almost like hard coded with like their name.
Yeah,
I think it should just be more of like a
yeah.
and look,
trustee one,
One,
trustee
two, and
two,
three.
trustee
yeah,
three.
and look over here. There's just like a rogue new page, so we got to clean all that up.
So if you go back to the main trustee page, like why aren't, like, I guess board member, I mean, can you not just,
Say
I
the
think-
board members' names on the side.
I almost think you should put the pictures on this page.
that's
here,
what I'm saying.
and
Yeah.
put,
So
like,
where that
all this
says,
information on
the-
about the
the-
trustees can be
Yes.
like on
Yes,
another page.
because that was what I was getting at before too, is like it was confusing, like I wouldn't know to click on board members.
Yes. Oh, I can see where they're going for here because this is an educational page. This is
Right.
how do we get trustees? What are their jobs? What are their terms?
Then
What
put
the election
about
process-
the trustees.
Yeah, I almost feel like
Not
it should
board
be
members.
reversed though. Like
Yeah.
trustees should be your 3 elected officials, and then under that should be like about trustees, and you could put all the like more
This
trustee
existing
names.
page because
Because I think anyone who like sees the header trustees,
They're gonna.
We're
think
gonna know
they're-
who they
yeah,
are.
I think you want to see who they are more quick,
yeah.
immediately.
You don't want to go down more.
Yeah.
And it says like board members say about the, the trustees.
Or about the trustee, if you
Right.
do it a separate page.
Yeah. You can have a link to
Mhm.
say about trustees.
And I noticed
On
that
trustees.
this is kind of a common thing. Some of these landing pages that seem a little redundant, it does seem like they were created to have like an
Like
educational
an about page.
and yeah, this is what this department
Yeah.
does. Yeah. Very good. Very good, everybody. I think this is a really good start, especially not knowing like how many hours we have to dedicate to this. So I think this is a really good place to start. Does anybody have anything burning that they want to bring up before we move on to our remainder of our agenda?
No, no.
I wanted to make sure to mention this before we
Oh.
moved completely off of our
Well, that's
website.
good. I think
because-
we talked about it last
Yeah.
time.
And I think, who was it? The other character, someone had mentioned that zoning, Mike, his last name is not mentioned anywhere.
Is he like Madonna?
Like, it has like a
Mike.
picture and it just says
That's
like,
amazing.
There he is.
was it,
Mike.
so, yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
So might just want to have his last name.
Oh, not Mike, that's what the name is.
Mike.
My name wasn't on there.
That's true.
And yeah, Louis not an alternate anymore either.
Oh, really? So that needs to be cleaned up? Great. Okay, well, did any of this spur any ideas for our March Township email blast resources? We always use that to try to educate, link to something relevant that's current. The email blast would be before the new save the date strategic planning input session. So we couldn't put the results of that yet.
Why couldn't you just say, we're looking at the website, reviewing the website to make it friendlier?
That's an interesting idea. Could we put like a survey or submit a comment?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we have to go through the comments, but
Yeah,
wouldn't that be nice to?
Yeah, let them know that we're doing something like that to help them. know
that's
that
actually
we're-
a great idea. Yeah, like we can make like a
quick
form or whatever you call those.
Yeah, like a Google or a,
Microsoft,
they
you know,
use
yeah.
Microsoft here for the township. It's a Microsoft form.
But yeah, make a form where people can just submit any feedback on the website and
I mean, yeah, obviously we have to post.
I'd be really careful, but I wouldn't make it interactive.
Sure, just like a
Because
first name,
it'll
last
just
name
become a
comment.
feeding frenzy for, it'll go
like,
tangent faster than you can guess. So I mean, if it's basically like a suggestion box,
Yeah,
Basically, but I was more just telling them that we're redoing the, the website to make it more friendly, and maybe say, if you
Yeah.
have suggestions,
mm-hmm.
send it to here.
Yeah,
right?
it could be email, the communications email, or like a very simple, like first name, last name, address, and then just a text box. You just submit an answer.
Right,
character limit.
Right.
With a character
right.
limit.
Yeah,
And
250
then
words or
not
less. Yeah, that's
publishing each of those
That's what I do.
submittals as such.
I think I would just have them go to the email, but that way no one has to see it or.
The communications email, yeah. That's a good resources. I like that idea. Actually, now it's time for me. Oh, wait, since we're done with this, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen and sit with the group. One moment, please. Okay, we back to the group now?
Looks like it.
Yep, we got you. Yep, like a
Okay,
rogues gallery.
so resources for March email. Website feedback. All right. So the next would be our March social media calendar. We have content for this week. We have a did you know from the history book. So we need some post ideas for next week. So 1, 2, 3, we need 4 post ideas to get us to our next meeting.
I'm going, something that the Harlem Township Heritage Group, I was asked, and I have the information, we want to make a bulletin board or something to tell the people of the categories like the winter in the park, the, dinners, how much we are expending on each item, for a year, so they'll know what we're doing. And I just wonder if that would be nice to be in the, people know that the dinners, what we're doing and what it costs us.
And will you be sharing that on the Harlem Township Heritage page?
No.
Because then we can
No,
reshare.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't know. We haven't discussed that yet.
that could be good for the Harlem Township Heritage submission for the newsletter, if you wanted to share it with people
Yeah.
for the printed
Like
newsletter.
the April one.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
the April printed.
Yeah,
newsletter.
because I'm trying to get that information for our meeting Thursday, so.
Is there anything going on in our park at the moment? I would assume like softball and baseball should starting to be happening, or even like the maintenance department working.
I saw some team practicing last night, on the baseball field.
Oh, Ed, I saw Ed a little bit today and I didn't catch all of it because Jim was talking to him. They had a meeting today and we were talking about different things in the park. And one wasn't about the birds, the geese or something, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Probably get them and asking more information.
Yeah. I think it could be just a nice picture.
Yeah, a picture of a team practicing in the park, and
Yeah. Always just nice to have like pictures of what's going on in the township.
I think the practices are on the calendar, so we could find out
Okay.
like when
Yeah.
practice is, and
I can go shoot a picture. I'm right here.
Okay.
If somebody. Can
That
tell
would be
me.
nice, especially if it was
Yeah.
if it's after work, the sun's going down a little bit, it just could be like a really nice picture.
Okay, well, I didn't promise that.
But
But I will. I'm like the worst. I'll get Louis cameras in. But I can actually ask or, see who they are too. That's probably on the calendar, right?
Yeah, it'll
Molly?
be on the calendar.
Okay,
Should be.
okay. I can do that.
In that vein,
Some
though,
some of just be a little sensitive, maybe. Some of the teams playing there are not necessarily Harlem-based teams.
true. I'm looking at the calendar to see if there are any that are.
I'm not sure any are.
Yeah.
We can just say the parks,
Columbus
Oh.
Sharks and BW Sizzle.
kind of like always nice to see a full park.
Yeah,
something
Big
like-
Walnut Sizzle, is that what they are? BW?
That's what it says, but weirdly, when you click on the calendar event that has them booked, it like shows a little map that's not even the right place.
Oh,
these
yeah.
are
yeah,
probably
yeah,
look at
That's
that.
it, another problem with that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
maps for the calendar is like, so you pull up the BW Sizzle, which supposedly is at the park, and it's pulling up Miracle League of New Albany
That's not right.
near the Bob Evans in New
That's
Albany.
confusing.
And then if you click on the Columbus Sharks, it pulls up Highlands Park baseball fields in, not.
See, that's where their probably home base is,
Yeah,
but
it might be, yeah.
Well, that's good feedback.
Well, I can go by and see if somebody's playing and. or
just take a
practicing,
picture, just a picture. and
Even if it's like from quite far away.
Yeah.
The point is to see a full park, like it's
Or
nice
just
to see our.
pictures
our
of kids on the
resources being
playground or
used.
something.
Yeah.
It's nice to see our resources being used. So in that vein, we received a submission from the Parks Committee already for the upcoming newsletter because of that America 250.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah,
So
they,
perhaps we should just ask if they can have, like, I can be responsible for that, emailing them and asking if there's like a post we're putting out there.
I would love that, yeah, because I know he's been working so hard on it and I feel like he's been doing it all by himself. So maybe a call for volunteers too.
Yes.
Cause he's asked volunteers, he sent an email out and I didn't
Right.
respond.
It'd be good, it'd be great to see it on
Who's
Facebook.
leading that?
Dave Snyder.
Dave Schneider.
Is he doing it in like, is it like an official township thing?
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
the
it was-
representative from
yeah.
Delaware, for Delaware
And
County,
the,
yeah.
the trustees at the last month's meeting, they like officially passed a resolution that
Yes.
Harlem is participating in. this.
Okay, then yeah, that almost sounds like,
I think
yeah,
he
call for
should have-
volunteers.
yes.
He needs help.
Yes, he does.
But it's obviously not this year, right? It's-
Right,
it's
next year.
Next year, so yeah, it's this long process, but I think.
Like
it's
if he
worth-
could have a post every once in a while, that would be awesome.
Yeah, cause he sent out an email to me, but I thought he
Mhm.
sent it to several people. Did you get one?
I got one, but only
He's
about
out-
one event.
Oh, but he had a list of different things that was happening,
Oh, I didn't see
even with the
that.
parks and stuff, so.
I got the parks one.
But it
um,
also had the 250
Okay.
on there too.
I may not have scrolled.
That's great.
Yes, that would be awesome.
Okay, so that's 2 of our 4 so far. Obviously, there's gonna be public notices and stuff, but I think we're just trying to contribute in a way that shows
More
the
fun.
community in addition to the public notices. I'm
You have
sure-
your noodle,
Noodle dinner, that was
Oh,
getting ready to
yeah,
say
so
that
noodle
noodle
dinner.
dinner's in 2 weeks.
Okay,
that'll be a good one to post,
From,
Either
in
before or
March
after,
28th,
whatever.
yeah,
at the end, what is that?
March 28th.
Is the noodle dinner,
Mm-hmm.
so that would be the 25th one. Would there be a picture to accompany that in some way, shape or form? Like, is there any prep work involved? Days before?
what do you
That's
mean?
that's a dumb question. I guess because I was picturing like
They did-
people working and lining up tables and chairs.
They
to get
was-
ready.
It's already there.
Chicken Sunday.
We got a whole week of this. We go in and clean, we do salads on Thursdays to get it ready. Friday, we start all day
Production
long
line.
doing
Get a picture
noodles.
of that and send it to me, please. That would be lovely. That week, one of the things happening, whether it's.
Yeah.
We should have done
ready or-
pulling the chicken this weekend.
Pulling the chicken.
Yeah.
We did that. We didn't do that, didn't we?
We should have taken a picture.
Can you get a picture of one of the prep days? That'd be
Yeah,
great.
I could probably, Friday be the most of, we still do a lot. I do 2 days. I'll give you two, one for the salads, the way we do it, and then I could do one for the dinner. Cause it's Jim and I that work all day long.
And I'm sure that. you
Except
will
for Louis
post
coming at
pictures of
2.
your page too, right? Yeah, like.
No, we
Like
don't
some
really
of
do
the
that much on the page. I mean, we
Okay.
do, but not a whole lot. I don't think it does. We just tell
So
them
if that
about it.
goes out on Wednesday,
Yeah, I mean, if your prep work isn't happening until like
Until
Thursday or
Friday,
Friday, we
right.
could just flex, we could
Okay.
post a picture then, yeah. But having
good
a
marketing.
picture of that prep work. would be
Oh,
great.
yeah, it is.
should have gotten us
I'm
up
sure
the other
most
day.
people
Yeah, how much work goes into it.
Oh, no, no, they don't.
Yeah,
Oh, when we used to make the noodles, it took a lot more.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, you actually made the noodles from.
We made the noodles on Monday
Wow.
and there was probably 6 of us and we took us 4 hours. And then we get
Oh, at
done.
least I got roped in a couple noodle days.
I think
and,
that's gonna be that's gonna be my next did you know, like
you
is
know?
how the noodle dinners like
Came
used
to
to
be.
be, came to
That's fun.
be. I
Yeah.
was asking
That's so fun.
Kathleen about that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then we laid them out on the table for 2 days to dry and then they go and pick them up and then,
yeah.
oh, right now we're redoing the pantry.
My husband loves the noodle dinners.
that's great.
Good. I'm glad.
How many years have they been doing noodle dinners? I mean,
Well, if I'm not mistaken, there was a group called the Grange Group of those
Yes,
ladies.
that's what Kathleen said.
And they did it and I'm thinking, oh, they've been doing it for quite a while, 20 years or more, so yeah,
these,
at least.
because I mean, my mom and dad were in the range and I remember them doing stuff for that.
Wow.
But I didn't,
Louise
when-
is the oldest
yeah, I don't know when
that did it.
when the Grange
It was
quit
Kathleen's
and you guys
parents.
took over the noodle dinners, but it's been a long time.
I've been doing it for the last 7 years, so,
That's fantastic.
so,
It's fantastic.
and it's a lot of calling, getting desserts.
Okay, so one more, guys. That was quick. That was 3 out of 4. We need one more post idea about the community or something. We can always
I mean, there's a
Remind-
lot of cool stuff on the walls in here. Maybe we steal some content from one of these.
That's what I did
Like-
with the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, the did you know type of thing. Or historic facts.
There's a lot of stuff there.
Dave has a lot of information too, just in his brain.
Or just any information about the school, you know, those people on the,
oh yeah.
I have a picture of Kathleen has been giving me really good pictures of like one of the schools, I can't figure out what it is. Just everybody was walking, they had no shoes on. It was her great grandma.
Wow.
And so she's been giving me a bunch of history, but I have to like get the facts that go with it.
Mhm.
But she's like an amazing resource with so many good photos.
That could be cool.
Yeah, I might just like blast them to you and then,
And then we can just spread them.
yeah, you can see what you want to do,
Mhm.
just with her permission. It's pretty cool.
And we still have an old schoolhouse building up on Lewis Road.
Yeah.
I don't know if there are any more in the township.
She said it may have been out of the township too, where they all had to go to
If I'm-
school.
if
That's
I'm not-
where yeah, I had to figure it
if
out.
I'm not mistaken, in the corner of Gorsuch in Harlem,
Mhm.
the wooden one, not the one on the right hand, if you're going down Harlem, the one on the left hand,
Mhm.
that was a school or something there.
That one was too,
Mm.
okay.
It's still there. People are living in it. Like a,
The one on Lewis Road, no one's living in. It's like a
well,
glorified
right.
shed.
Yeah, it does look like a shed.
But it's I live right
Neat.
across from there, so it's kind of a
Mhm.
cute little.
Well, yeah, before we leave, let's snap a picture of one of these and then we'll just use it as a week where there's not something like immediate going on, like chicken meal dinner. And I think that could be cool. People
Okay.
love seeing that stuff.
The house on 605, just north of the pizza place on the other side. I can't remember which one it was. That used to be the township hall.
Really?
That's what they had.
It's not the one that's a church now, is it?
No, it's something else there now. But that used to be where the trustees had their meetings and stuff like that.
Pull up
Way
Google
back
Maps.
when. Like, I'd have to go by and look again, and get the address. I don't remember what, I don't know what the address is, but that was
So,
Richland Township Hall,
which direction from the Picasso's?
north on the other side, on the
North on the opposite side?
east side of west side.
West side, facing the.
This building?
I can't tell you which one
Oh,
for sure.
I'll just do street view. We'll find it.
That might have been it.
Or the bigger one, like that one? That
Yeah.
looks more like a house.
Yeah.
I think this building is the only one that looks kind of like it might be used to be a meeting house of some sort.
I think that might be it.
Very cool. People just love to talk about the history of it and see, I mean, it's just in
I
general.
love
people
it.
love
The pictures are so neat. I just got to get the facts.
Okay,
When I moved here, when they had meetings, they were in the fire chief's up in front of the firehouse and the office up the side. And they had a big meeting, they'd expand out into the apparatus floor and put more chairs up. But
this actually gives me an idea, because our last agenda item is breaking up the sections of our newsletter and sending emails to people. And just a note on that, whoever takes which section, let's get those emails out this week. Because then the earlier we can get that content in, then the faster we can turn it around. In case we need to get it printed, you know, if there's any sort of strategic planning thing that's happening, we get it printed quicker if we are waiting for the content. So my thought was, so we typically try to include a fun feature. Can we incorporate any of these ideas that we just had as a fun feature, like pictures of the
I can
things
try
on the
that.
walls, or
Yeah.
the different schoolhouses, like a map of the different school, something like that? I don't know. What do you guys
That'd be
think?
so cool if we had a map of it.
We have to be careful with pictures just because it's not physically a large printing. So we can't have, the pictures won't be very big, but is there like
Here's something
here's,
that I
here's addresses?
I wish we were still sharing, because I wonder how many people know about this page.
What's that?
On our website,
Mm-hmm.
under community, there's a Harlem history page,
Yeah, that's a good one.
and it has tons of historical maps on it. Like there's
Whoa.
37 different maps that are on our website that go all the way back to like the
Maybe that'd be a fun fact.
1798.
Wow.
That'd be a fun fact to say,
Did you know there's this page on our
Page,
website
yeah.
that has
Right,
all these cool
yeah.
maps?
Yeah, that's cool.
take time
I
to
love that
visit.
idea.
So it's
The
just
Harlem history
Harlem
page?
history, and then if you scroll down a little bit on that page, there's like a drop down with a bunch of maps.
I love that idea. That's such a great idea.
So it's like we already have this on our
Yeah.
website. Did you know?
Uh-huh. And we don't have to like go get that content, like it just
Yeah,
exists.
yeah.
So that could be the fun feature section of this
Yeah.
month's newsletter, or this quarter's newsletter. So then, starting kind of from the front page, there will probably be a letter, which I can ask the trustees at the next meeting about. And then I typically ask also Lisa for the fiscal as well. Does anybody, and we already have parks because Dave sent in the America 250 stuff already, so we are already getting content. So, zoning commission, does anybody want to email and ask the zoning commission? Can anyone please email and ask the zoning commission if they have anything to submit?
Do you want me to?
Yeah. Is that usually what Louis sends in?
No, but he did the zoning 101, but
Oh,
I'll just email it to him, or I'll just have him get it.
So just think about the content. It has been like a zoning 101, zoning 102, did you know, and then in the past, so there's zoning commission, there's obviously BZA, and then there's zoning department.
Oh,
in the
maybe that's what I'm
past,
confusing.
I
Okay, sorry.
think the zoning commission has been the did you know?
Oh, got it.
And then Mike,
Yes.
Director of Zoning Development, has
Just the
created
zoning.
an article, so like, for example, in the fall, it was very relevant, he explained the zoning rules around election signs.
yeah, political
So I think
science.
he should probably have something separate as well.
That's what I was confused. So yes, Louis was. the one who did it before. Sorry.
So,
Molly's looking to be like.
think about one, does anyone, can anybody email Mike? and
I
ask
can
for
email
an
Mike.
article?
Oh, yeah, I can do Mike. Yeah, get that on there too. Just the zoning update, what he wants to say. Okay.
PCA, do we have anything to report this quarter?
We just took one application the other day. Well, we took two.
So
But we haven't,
PVD,
but it's nothing been decided. We just received the applications and
yeah,
the hearings
Might
are gonna
not
be
be
set.
worth an update this.
we got lucky with the new.
Actually,
leadership, so
actually,
were
we
able to-
rejected one for being incomplete and they're bringing it back next
Okay.
month, so.
So there's stuff going on, but typically we would announce like an official thing that happened and nothing's happened yet. Okay. Economic development, there's probably 100 things that's going on. I wonder if that's just something at the trustee meeting, as I could just take notes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I almost wonder, since we don't have, like, there's no person in that position since Jim resigned, so I just wonder if like the letter from the trustees would incorporate anything about
Economic development.
about economic development or about their steering committee or, you know, whatever.
Oh yeah, the steering committee, that's something that probably,
Ought to have its own section or something, or maybe instead of economic development, it can be a blurb about.
so it's
You've got the inaugural new steering committee meeting on this Thursday at 5 o'clock.
Right,
right,
so we should know who all the members are by then.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Maybe-
public.
So that
And
would be a good thing to include as a section, like instead of an economic development section by Jim, it can be a
Economic
section
development.
introducing who's on this
Yeah.
steering.
introduce, welcome new team. I think you could ask Holly to get you something, that would kind of list the members and kind of their backgrounds and a little bit of, what the mission statement of that group is.
It's a good idea.
next meeting,
And what their meeting schedule is planned to be.
yeah. Cause it's my
And then
understanding,
you've got the next, but it'll be after this is published, the next church.
yeah, there will be, yeah, exactly, there should be some sort of update from the next Harlem Township Church Strategic Planning Input Session, so that's baked in, right there,
Mhm.
economic development.
But that'll be post-publishing, right?
Correct, yeah,
Well, the event happens before the newsletter is published, but
The
probably
event-
not the results of it.
I would
I
assume,
don't know.
because it was a week later when they put out that PDF
That's
that,
what I'm looking at the,
yeah, so I would, I would be really surprised if there wasn't some sort of like recap of that meeting before we publish this newsletter.
Well, let's put it this way, there should be.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's.
And
prob-
again, I think we could lean on Holly.
Yeah.
To gin something up for that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Or what's her name? Is it Jessica Creel?
Oh,
that the one
Angela.
from the
And
community. Okay,
Yeah, so one of them will probably have an update from that meeting, and that's just, that's perfect, we'll just slot that in.
okay. I can't
Because
tell.
not everybody gets emails, not everybody
Mhm.
does social media, so it'd be good to share that.
I think so too.
We'll probably, might be a little tight, we'll have to see if we can fit both of meetings in it. That could be nice too.
That's why I was just trying to look to see what the turnaround time was, but I can't. Yeah, my tiny.
But for your social media calendar agenda that you've gone over, item B there for, you do need to, or at least somehow highlight the next community meeting at the church.
Yeah, a reminder, cause there's been one post out about it already, so just reminding people in a week or so, if you haven't RSVP'd yet, you need to RSVP.
it might be good to utilize a photo with the post to get more attention. So do we, oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a photo for like the group. Perfect.
I thought the same thing. I thought maybe it'll get more attention if there's like an image with it. So I just made like a navy blue image to match the Harlem Township colors. But I completely agree with you. I think people pay attention more. It said save the dates. I thought that was eye catching.
Yeah.
John Trainer
Timing.
came to the zoning commission meeting. I was on Zoom watching it.
Huh?
And there's gonna,
That did Columbus
based
was-
on my understanding of the topic, next trustees meeting next week, John is going to brief, he's going to brief us at the BZA, but then he's going to essentially play it again, similar to what he did with the zoning commission a couple weeks ago. He's going to start laying out the broader constructs of what they're working on with Columbus.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
That's going to generate
Notes.
a huge education job as well as communication.
Well, will say that he was telling us that Columbus had on the agenda was annexing right there near Smothers and Red Bank.
Okay.
The
Was
side is Franklin County, but it's right on the border of Harlem Township.
Yeah. I bet.
Yeah, but John's thinking is much broader than that.
I'm saying, but that, he was mentioning that during the zoning commission meeting that Columbus was annexing that land over there.
Yeah. From Blendon, yeah.
Yeah, in Glendon Township.
Yeah.
It sounds like between the economic development stuff's actually going on right now that they will likely talk about during the trustee meeting, so that'll be built-in information. Then there's going to be the whatever is created for a follow-up of the strategic planning input session. So and then there's gonna be the steering committee update. So that's a big section. We've got lots.
That's great.
Has he talked to you about, post the trustee meeting? When I met with him last week, we talked about, ensuring that the Zoom and I told him I would be there to get the Zoom working properly or make sure it's working properly. But taking that video as well as putting out a email push message to kind of point people in the direction of that video. Has he talked to you about that?
No, are you saying that they'll want to be a special email to let people know that economic development stuff was discussed at the trustee meeting?
Yeah, I think, well, it needs to be a bit of an explainer. And John's going to try to put that in outline form that, sort of, he's got kind of a cascaded message of, what's been worked on, historically, what's been worked on lately, what's our vision going forward, what are the options that we're dealing with potential strategic partners. And that's what he's going to lay out verbally and maybe with some graphics next Wednesday. So that's going to be a pretty big meeting.
So the meeting on the 19th?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, but then so that doesn't land without further context.
Right.
We need to get a pointer out there to, aim people to the video, as well as to put some of his communication tools out in the form of an email and an explainer.
Okay, thank you. That's good to know. I'll email him and ask, is there anything that he's creating? Can we get started working on this that way?
Yeah, you need to get ahead of it, Lindsay, and I don't know if he's depending on Holly for that. It might be, but essentially you're going to need a package to go out.
Yeah, sounds like it. That's good to know. Cool.
Is your concern then, Steve, that the trustee meeting on the 19th without this kind of communication would be better?
No, it's the meetings, I mean, he's gonna do what he's gonna do at the meeting. It's post the meeting in the following couple of days to get people started, to get them revved up to speed on what's being talked about here.
Yeah, it sounds like I mean, everything that happens in a trustee meeting, people, I hope, are at least following up with, paying attention, but it sounds like the point Steve's making is that this one is especially significant, so you just might wanna take
Okay,
measures to push it out.
that is an extraordinary.
This is going to be a very significant
Yes.
discussion.
We should be pushing the information out rather than, yes, we all are aware that it's all available for people to go look at, but this sounds like it's a special circumstance.
I have a hunch about what you're talking about, Steve, but I'll be sure to either tune in or attend next
Tune in.
Wednesday.
And then that'll, and then we'll certainly, or he will be coming back around to further that conversation at the township meeting at the church the following weekend.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. I was thinking that same thing.
So, yeah.
Good stuff.
So
Okay.
I almost wonder if like whatever communication we send out following the trustee meeting, incorporate a reminder about the upcoming community
Yeah.
meeting.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
on.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
On by March 26th.
Right, exactly.
Well, that still gives you, I mean, so as long as we send out the recap of the meeting from the 19th with whatever information we want to, as long as we send that out with a couple of days before the
Before that
26th.
site.
So target sending it by no later than Sunday, the 23rd. That still gives. a
Yeah,
couple-
23rd or 24th. Yes, that's right.
Remind them, yeah.
I'd say the sooner the better following the trustees meeting,
For sure.
Right.
For
so
sure.
that it's just not hanging in thin air with speculation running rampant. Because we know how that works.
Number one rule, public relations, is that you get your information out. to People, so they don't make up their own wrong mindset.
Yes.
Well, some will anyways, but so be it.
Right. Well, this is great. So we're gonna have a really robust spring newsletter. We've already got a bunch of stuff that's basically already baked. So lastly, Karen, I wanted to ask, could you ask Harlan Township Heritage what they would like included in the newsletter?
They'll ask me, I'll put through.
Okay.
Well, like I said, I can tell you, but when we get you a picture of the dinner, then I can tell you all the expenses or whatever we've done.
Yeah, like if that's something that you guys would like, that's a.
We're gonna post it at the dinner, but this will get it to everybody,
Exactly.
knowing what we do and what we put on, I gotta
That's a
say what we're
cool
doing.
idea. And as usual, whatever events is coming up can be published with the website and stuff.
Yeah,
So when you have that information, send it my way, please. It's gonna be a big newsletter.
I'll work on the fun feature.
Yeah,
I didn't know if we assigned that yet. Did we? We talked about doing something with the maps, but
please do.
yes,
Please do.
I'll work on that.
I love that.
I'll try not to make it too lengthy though, because it sounds like we have a lot of content to fit.
We do. Yeah, that's great. Good stuff, guys. Great. Okay. Last but not least, our next meeting would be Tuesday, April 8th at 6:30. Does anybody have any questions, comments, concerns before we adjourn this meeting? Well, I'm really impressed. It's only 7:47. I thought for sure this was a really long agenda. We were gonna be here till at least 8.
It's the best group ever.
I mean, please, by all
Ever.
means, did we not address something that is important? Steve, thanks for
Hey,
bringing
look,
that.
you're putting together the detailed agenda. That's a move after my heart. So,
I love managing.
no, I mean, so
My goodness.
very little wandering around. Very, very well done, gang.
Good. Well, I guess we don't have to hang out any longer. Let's get out of here.
I think this is the
Yeah.
funnest committee in the township.
That's fun stuff.
Sorry I couldn't be there live. We'll see you
We need
next
to put in a
time.
plug for a vice,
Thank you guys.
For an,
Awesome.
for an official vice chair.
Yes.
Peter.
Yeah, I'll make sure that's in our section of the newsletter.
Oh, okay.
Adam made an announcement at the last trustees meeting.
Oh, no, I
he
think I
did?
did- I
Reminding
did remember
people,
that.
the communications committee is doing a lot of fun stuff. It's really great to be a part of. Please tune in or come volunteer. Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Bye. Have a great night, guys. Where'd my mouse
See
go?
ya. Yeah.
Bye. Where did my mouse go? Friend. There it is.